Thanks for joining. This is Tiff, the Informal Farmer, and today I've got something pretty cool to show you. So here's my strawberries, and we're overwintering right now. So as you can see, this area looks pretty dense. I did do a light thinning out of them, and then on this side, I did a heavier thinning out. And the reason for this is because when you see these little shoots jumping off your strawberry plants, the energy goes into growing more leaves, which eventually these will root and start new plants, which is great if you want more plants. So this is kind of what they look like when they're starting to grow roots. These are kind of like air roots, right? They're those little nubs. But the problem with them making more shoots is that it takes the energy away from the plant and it stops making strawberries. So if you look in here, it's kind of getting covered with fall leaves. But I don't see any strawberries. Looking, I don't see them. Okay, so if you look over on this side where I've thinned them out, here's some strawberries. There's some more strawberries. On the other side of that leaf. There's another one. Here's where that little white part is. That's part of a flower. There's more strawberries there. Oh, fun. There's even a red one right there, the first that I've seen this winter. Okay. So the point is, if you thin out your strawberries, you'll get more strawberries. If you want to grow more strawberries, let them get these shoots and you can plant them. So I was in a hurry trimming that section, and I wanted to save some to donate to my kids' school garden. And I kind of just threw them in a pile over here. And when you look at this pile, it looks pretty dead. But as I'm going through, I was going to just pull it all out because I'm getting ready for my winter planting. I'm noticing these are like the nubs that came off, and they were rooted. They were just too many. A lot of it died back. But if you look at it, there is still life in there, and it's going to grow. So, pretty exciting. I thought they were going to be trash, but they're still growing. Obviously, they're not all going to be winners. Some of them are actually dead, like this one. It is crispy, dried up. You could see it maybe was going to have some growth, but it's dead. So that will go in my trash pile. But for the other ones that look like there was nothing, I'm going to just clean them up by pulling off these old shoots or leaves without trying to damage the new growth. I want to leave on the roots, okay? Because that's its life source right there. You can even see a little bit. See that little white root? That's where the new roots are. So we want to save all the roots, even though it's just got a little green on top. And then when I'm ready to plant it, which will have to be soon, I'll actually have to put time and plant these or plant them in pots to send to the kids' school. You're going to plant it so all the roots are in the ground, so it's going to be like this, okay? I just want, you can kind of see how it's like thinner here and then it goes out, okay, like it's like a bulb nub. I just want that bulb up and out of the dirt. The rest of it can go under. So that's how it's going to go. It's going to go like that. Oh, did you notice my shirt? Yeah. I started designing my own shirts, so if you like it or want to see what other ones I have, you can check out the link for my Etsy store down below. All right, so this one looks pretty good. And I'm just going to keep going. I have kind of a large pile here because I went crazy with cutting them back because I let them keep going for a long time. I wanted to have a lot of buds for donating to the kids' school. I wanted to do one per each kid in preschool, so I need like 40. So, oh, I just went to pick one up and I just pulled the greens out. But just because I pulled the greens out doesn't mean it's dead. The little nub, if it still has life in it, it will grow. So here's an interesting one. It's got like, okay, the roots are down here and it's got two tops. And one looks like it's pretty dead. Yeah, there's a little bit of green down there. So as I'm pulling off this decaying, dead, dried up strings, actually, yeah, they're both still alive. So that'll be cool. Simple, but just something fun for the kids. All right, I'll keep going with this.
Here you can see that I've got 3 separate piles. It's hard to see one of them. I'll point it out here in a sec. So the first larger pile is my pile of trash. It's my discards, but I'll eventually just crunch it up and try to break it up as much as possible and add it to the current garden beds for organic matter. Next, here inside the cinder block is my second pile, and it's my hopefuls. It's the ones that didn't really quite look alive, but they might be, so I'm going to try planting them anyways and see what happens. And then these are my definitely keeps. They've got active green growth and have a high chance of survival. So up next, I'll be showing you how I get these planted in the soil. Here you'll be able to see how I'm planting the strawberries. So first, I'm starting with a nice soil. This is soil that has lots of organic matter. I've added different compost to it over the years. Just before planting, I turned it with a shovel, so it's nice and light and easy to work with. If you have a strawberry plant that is fresh, so you don't have to obviously start with shoots from your current plants. If you just bought a plant, the roots are going to be fresh, they're going to be white, they're going to be tender. So definitely take a lot of care when you're working with the strawberry plants not to damage the roots. But in this case, mine are kind of dried up and hardy, so they're not as delicate. Typically, I would plant strawberries 6 to 12 inches apart because they do grow so big and they have all their shoots. But in this case, I'm just planting them a few inches apart because I'm just trying to stabilize them with the nutrients and the consistent watering, just so they're stable enough that I can transport them in smaller pots to take to my kids' school. Lastly, of course, before I leave the garden today, I will be giving these a good soak. If you weren't sure about it, strawberries love water. It's also important to remember that they do love a nice, well-draining soil. After all, they are called strawberries, and it wasn't unheard of to see them grown on straw bales. Here's a look at the finished product. I've definitely got over my 40 that I wanted for the kids' school, so I'll probably be sharing some with friends and neighbors. As you can see to the left, I've got my promising ones. In this small section, I've got my hopeful ones. Lastly, my stick divider, so I know where I ended and where to begin my next patch.
Thanks for joining. If you like this content and want to see future videos on how I get these strawberries potted and get them to keep growing, or I'll link to some of my other strawberry videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.